but it's something that I think we might like, because this is an in-depth look at the Olympic rapid-fire pistol. I'm guessing this is used like in like triathlons or something like that. I found this I like the idea of it is very fascinating. So I was like, cool, I'm gonna watch this on stream. This might be very interesting. Cause and it's kind of guntuber stuff. So I'm interested. It's not a long video. So let's check this out. Shall we?
Hey everybody, welcome to the Bullseye channel. I hope you're doing well. Today I've got something very special for you. I imagine that, like me, you have been tuning in to the Olympics. And there have been a lot of great things happening in the Olympics, particularly Olympic shooting. Olympic shooting and Bullseye in general are kind of having a little bit of a moment right now. Here in the next...
Now, a quick question, chat. The only shooting I'm aware of in the Olympics is during like the triathlon with the target rifle, like the 22 target rifle, I believe. That's the only shooting I know of. Is there a Summer Olympics shooting category? Because I have not followed the Olympics in years. I honestly could not give a fuck about the Olympics. They have fucking breakdancing as an Olympic sport. Breakdancing as an Olympic sport. It is real. God fucking help me. Let's see, 25mm pistol and rapid fire pistol. Okay. Yeah, at this point, I don't have any idea what's in the Olympics either. Because they've started putting more and more quote unquote sports into it. So, yeah. Well, I thought I heard something about there was like a former hitman showed up for the pistol shooting competition. Like I did see, like I know Alana reacted to like a former hitman or something. Oh, it was a meme. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. I don't know. It's like I don't know. Okay, so it was the Turkish guy, no gear, 55s, and kicked ass. Okay, cool. I'm guessing using the pistol that we're about to see here in this video. So that's another reason why I'm really curious about this pistol.
Next couple of days, the internet is going to be moving away from talking about anime-looking villains and
What the what the fuck is this? Is this the gear you guys were talking about? Like, what the fuck is this? So, you have an eye block here, non-dominant eye block, and then an eyepiece with, I'm guessing, just a pinhole for now. Wow. Okay, so we are removing skill. That's what this is. This is removing skill from the Olympics. That's what this is. Chat, do you remember when the Olympics was all about the most skilled individual? Do you remember that? You know, from like 50 years ago? It was about the skill of the athletes. And now it's, okay, we're gonna throw all of this shit onto the quote-unquote athletes and say they're the best of the best. Now I see why that guy from Turkey caught so much attention, because I'm guessing he wasn't wearing this piece of shit on his face, and he probably kicked ass au naturel.
51-year-old dads winning Olympic silver, and instead they're going to be talking about the magic Olympic pistol. So I actually happen to have one of these pistols, and I'm going to share that with you. So here it is, the magic Olympic.
Well, they just showed him right here. Oh shit, you can't see him. Hang on. This was it. He's in this meme. There he is. Yeah, here he is right here. Just as all his eyeglasses, hand in his fucking pocket. Fucking based right here. Fucking based. That's the sign of a true shooter. True shooter right there. Yeah, he is. I mean, you know what? After this video, I may watch his run on
They're going to
stream.
be talking about the Magic Olympic pistol. So I actually happen to have one of these pistols, and I'm going to share that with you. So here it is, the Magic Olympic pistol, the Pardini SP.
I will say, not a fan of the green color. I'm gonna say this is a pretty badass looking pistol. From looks alone, this is a badass looking pistol. It looks so coolly futuristic. Well, and baby Jesus, that's the whole point. That's why I think it looks so cool. It looks like something out of a cartoon, so it looks like something you'd see in a sci-fi movie. I'm honestly a little surprised more sci-fi movies don't use these as models for their pistols. Yeah, Mike, you're gonna use this in Fallout. Watch out. Why am I watching out? Star Wars? See, it's aimed right at me. Oh god! I give up! I promise! Ah, I can't duck! I can't get low enough! Yeah, I can't get low. Okay, it's gonna get my ears. Okay, that's about the best I can do.
This thing looks like RoboCop's gun. This thing is
Well, now, RoboCop had an Auto 9. RoboCop's gun looked fucking angry. This does look like a sci-fi gun. This does look like a sci-fi gun. RoboCop's gun looked fucking angry. This doesn't look angry. This just looks cool.
really, really cool. The Pardini SP is unlike any pistol that I have ever fired. But let's go through what it is and what makes it special. The Pardini SP.
Well, yeah, it was a Brenda 930R with, you know, a Hollywood shell over it. They called it you know, canonically it's referred to as an Auto 9. And, chat, you may not know this, but RoboCop's gun, the Auto 9, was, I'm reasonably sure it was the inspiration for, okay, hang on, oh god, I used to know this. Oh, hang on. I need to look this up or I am going to kill myself. Hang on. What is it? Hang on. Give me a second. If I can't remember this, I'm going to hurt myself. Okay. No, not the Walter. No. The Ares Predator. That's what it was. The Ares Predator. So, I think the original design in the original, Shadowrun game. So if any of you ever played the original Shadowrun RPG, the Ares Predator sidearm, the original design of it was modeled off of RoboCop's Auto 9. So the one, not the Ares Predator, not the Ares Predator 2. The Ares Predator 2 was modeled off the Glock. The Ares Predator 2 was modeled off the Glock, but the original Ares Predator was modeled off of RoboCop's Auto 9. So, little bit of trivia there for you Shadowrun RPG aficionados.
SP is a semi-automatic pistol chambered in .22 long rifle. It is magazine fed. Like many Olympic pistols, the magazine is forward of the trigger, so it looks like kind of a little mini rifle. It has a lot of interesting features. The first is that it's going to have these ergonomic grips that are common with most Olympic pistols. There are requirements for these.
Interesting. So you have the ergonomic curvature on one side, and the other side is completely flat. So it's flat for the fingers and curved for the palm. Interesting. I'm curious how comfortable that is. I really am.
I would like to get across is that if you look at it, it has a very pleasing
The
texture
palm
here.
rest.
A nice place to put your
Or
thumb.
hand
It has a
rest.
little bit of a thumb rest. It has an adjustable shelf. Unlike American Bullseye versions, this does not wrap up and it doesn't encapsulate your hand. You still need to be able to freely articulate your wrist, and it can't touch any portion of your wrist. So this is.
You know what? For those of you guys that said it looks like it would be uncomfortable, I think the opposite. I think this is made specifically for comfort. Now, would it be good if you needed to quickly grip it and remove it from the holster if you were in a combat situation? No, I could see it being detrimental there. In this setting, the ergonomics are probably greatly beneficial. In a combat setting, I could see it being detrimental with not being able to very quickly get a grip and do a fast draw from a holster. That I could understand. But for the setting, I'd say the grip is probably quite comfortable.
The international grip. The other
Yes, it
thing I'd
is
like
made
to
for only
point
left
out
ear
is
right.
that this has a pretty aggressive grip angle. Out of every, firearm that I own, the Pardini is the most forward, and this is typical of, all Olympic level pistols or target pistols. They're not comfortable to shoot.
Oh,
by any
yeah. Oh, that was, hang on.
pistols or target pistols.
Yeah, that would be a very uncomfortable shooting position. That would feel so uncomfortably awkward to me. To have your arm straight and then forcing your wrist down. Yeah, now that would be uncomfortable. Absolutely it would. Granted, yeah, gangsterly net. Yeah, I don't think they have I don't think they have campsites on it, I'm afraid. But yeah, that okay. Yeah, I mean, coming from someone who, when shooting a pistol, used to having a normal pistol grip and a normal shooting grip, this would annoy the crap out of me trying to shoot this gun. I would feel like I'm trying to lift my arm higher than it should be. Uh, at least from a tactical perspective. Granted, this is not a tactical weapon. It is not, so maybe it's intentional for skill-based shooting, perhaps.
They're not comfortable to shoot by any stretch, but you get used to it, and but it is the best way to hold your sights still. Very, very good rear sights. The sights can be both adjusted with a flathead and by hand, which is very convenient. Your safety is right there. I want to put it on safe, I just move it up like that. And there's a little S
Yeah,
that you can't see. But for the most
that is a rather tiny safety. I'm actually a little surprised that the safety is that small. I would think that you would want to have better accessibility to the safety than this little bar. It's even for an Olympic sport shooting. See, Shadowquat, he pressed it up. He pressed it up. See this little white dot here? It gets pressed up into so it covers that dot, and that reveals a small little S down here to indicate safe. So when you thumb it down, you see the little white dot, which means the weapon is hot. So it flicks up and down.
most part, no one uses the safeties on these. The trigger is infinitely adjustable. Well, not infinitely. It is very adjustable. So just talk about a little bit of the things. First, we'll talk about the trigger position. Do you want it forward or do you want it backward? Do you want it a little bit left or do you want it a little bit right? Do you want it canted to the right or do you want it canted to the left? Do you want it high or do you want it low? That's just position. How many options is that? Then we talk about the actual
Huh.
trigger pull itself. Do you want a first stage and a second stage, or do you just want a one stage trigger? If you have a two stage trigger, how long do you want your first stage to be, and how long?
Okay, already this incredible amount of adjustment for the trigger. Well, as a general practitioner, as like a general shooting is fine for an Olympic sport. This feels like it's too much option. This feels like way too much option for an Olympic sport. Because you can have one target shooter that has a one stage hair trigger and another shooter that has a longer pull. It's like, why? You can't adjust your tools on practically any other Olympic sport. You cannot adjust the tools for the hammer throw, or for the javelin, or for the pole vault, or for the any of those other sports. Why is this thing so infinitely adjustable like this? Hi, Wagyu. I mean, the very notion of it is fascinating, like how customizable it is. But for the Olympics, all the athletes should have the same tool. Yeah, for something competitive about athlete skill, you'd have a standardized piece of kit. Yeah, that's my thought, Win. Is if you for athletes in a competitive sport, the kit should all be standardized for everyone. The trigger pull should be the same. Obviously, yes, zero the sights. Obviously, zero the sights, no problem there. But for things like trigger pull, that should be universal for all the athletes. You shouldn't be able to adjust that in the sport. From the personalized perspective, yeah, personal weapon, your target shooting, whatever, it's not competitive. Sure, do whatever the hell you want to the trigger. But for a competitive sport, it should all be standardized. It should, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense for an Olympic pistol. Kind of like that crazy ass headgear that one woman was wearing.
How long do you want your second stage to be? Oh, and by the way, what weights do you want on both your first stage and your second stage? And then do you want any free play in it? All of that can be adjusted with just like one hex and an Allen key. And most of those can be adjusted without taking the thing apart, which is amazing. There are some, I think it's first stage travel has to be adjusted. You have to take the grip off, and there's like a little screw back here. And then there's one up here that you can go through. There's a little hole right there, and you can adjust. I don't remember which one it is, but all of these little, screws, and you can even see in here, and you can kind of see a little bit of the operation. You can also clean it out, go like that. Super cool, right?
I mean, it's fascinating.
There are a couple different versions of this pistol. The two main ones are going to be.
So 504. I'm not referring to the grip. That's not what I'm referring to with the grip. The grip, I'm okay. For customized hand grips, I'm fine with that. I am, because as you said, different hand sizes. But the trigger pull should be the same on all of them. You should not be able to adjust the trigger pull to such a severe degree like what we're seeing is capable with these firearms. That's what I'm saying. To actually get your hand, wrapped around the weapon. Yes, I can see some, adjustments to grips and grip size and contours and things like that. Sure, I don't have an issue with that. But to have like basically a hair trigger where others could have a longer trigger pull, I don't think so. Where others on the Olympians do have this much control over the tools at that level, what do you even impacts? What? How much do runners have control over their tools? I mean, what can runners control? That I'm not sure what you mean by that, because that doesn't. I'm still confused. still confused. But anyway, well, yeah, the only carry about the accuracy is shots, but they should all have the same trigger pull to truly test their skills. I'm pretty sure runners do not have any control over the starting blocks. I could be wrong, but I thought the starting blocks were all standardized. Okay, well, Bobcat, that is wholly different. That is wholly different. When you're talking about an athlete's diet, that is completely different. Completely different perspective. I'm talking about the tools that they use during the competition themselves. How they train. The food they eat and how they train, that is a completely different story. I'm referring to the tools that are used during competition. It's apples to oranges. To pun intended.
The SP22, this one is the SP22 Bullseye, and this has a heavier bolt in it. You can see the handle's a little bit different. Don't pay too much attention to that because they're phasing it out for these little knobs that are a lot easier to grab. But the bolt itself is heavier.
Eh.
That heaviness helps with accuracy at 50 yards, which is what you shoot Bullseye for. But for rapid fire, you're shooting at 25, and the most important thing there is you want a fast cycling time, because in Olympic rapid fire, at the fastest, you have to raise the gun and fire 5.
Do they javelins have adjustable weights? And these are weights that the individual can control? How long have javelins had adjustable weights? I've never heard about that with javelins. How long have you been able to adjust the weight on a javelin? Yeah, I know, Morris. The only consideration with these firearms is accuracy. But it should be everybody has the same weapon to prove their accuracy. Train with the same weapon, compete with the same weapon. With the same trigger pull. That's same trigger pull, same bolt, heaviness of bolt. That's what it should be. If you want to have a couple different subcategories, like again, Shadowclaw, I don't have an issue with swapping the grips out. I did that. I'm fine with changing out the grips to accommodate hand sizes. I'm talking about trigger pull and bolt weight. If you want to change those up, have different subcategories in the sport. Have, pistols with heavy bolt pistol or lighter bolt pistol, or have pistols with, shorter trigger pull on one and longer trigger pull on the other one. That's what I'm talking about. Shadowclaw, I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know about that. With different hand sizes in your finger, by adjusting it, let's see, in international competition, men throw javelin between 2.6 and 2.7 meters in length and 800 grams. Women, so the weight's the same. Yeah, so it's different weight between men and women. Yeah, right, and I get that. I know it's in Shadow. It's just I I did even with different hand sizes, I disagree. I'm gonna disagree. The bolt weight and the trigger pull should be the same for all of them. Maybe you can make some very minute adjustments, extremely minute, maybe. But my feeling is, if you're going to compete, they should all be using the same tool. Otherwise, it's not a competition. It's who can configure their weapon the best. Where if you're talking about a competition of skill, give them all the same fucking weapon. Now it's a competition of skill. Have them train with the weapon and compete with the weapon. And leave it, as it is. That is my feeling on that. Anyway.
5 shots on 5 different targets in 4 seconds. That's amazing. And in order to do that, you want this bad boy recycling as fast as possible. Now, I'm moving this bolt and it's getting me pretty excited. So
Exactly,
let's
Win.
go ahead and let's put the other empty chamber indicator here and let's go ahead and pull that trigger. I have a whole video on what does.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
That's how you lock
comment
the
on
bolts
that,
for the
Shadow
rear.
Claw. You know you're being
What does a
facetious, and you
Pardini
said
trigger
so.
feel like? And to answer that question succinctly, it feels, well, any way that you said it, but to me, the thing I think about when I pull it is it doesn't have the smooth, I guess, the smooth roll of a 1911. Obviously, it is a articulating trigger. It's not a straight pullback. It's sort of like a little bit of a fulcrum.
Hey.
But if you know those kids' toys or those like sort of like fidget things where there's like a little bubble, plastic bubble, and you're popping it and you're popping it back, that's kind of to me always what a Pardini trigger felt like. But anyway, enough talking. Let's go ahead and let's ghost that trigger. All right, so on mine, and this one came from the factory with a pretty good trigger, I have like no free play. I have a very short first stage. There's the second stage. That's how short this is. So I'm going to go ahead and keep holding it. And then let's reset. You can hear the reset. Wow. Let's do it again. Oh, there it goes again. So it's pretty amazing, especially in Bullseye, how quickly that you can get 5 shots off, which is good because...
Okay, now he said that he adjusted it. He adjusted it to have a very short trigger pull. I would be curious how long of a trigger pull is possible. Because if what he's talking about with the short trigger pull is that minute, then I'm inclined to be a little bit more. I'm inclined to a bit more leeway. No restriction on length, width, or weight. However, the grip must not touch the wrist. The piston must be able to fit in a box. At least 1 million. Yeah. It's. Yeah. I don't know. But okay. But like I'm saying, if the trigger adjustments, like I said, if the trigger adjustments are as such that there's only minute differences there in the trigger pull, then I'm inclined towards more lenience. From the way he was talking, I thought that you could have like a tiny trigger pull like what he just had, which is effectively single action, or if the trigger pull could go all the way back like to here, and you have a much longer trigger pull. If it's just minute adjustments off of the existing trigger pull he had, that might change my opinion a little bit. And that date is going good, Tyso. The date is going good. So I'm gonna see. Let's see if he does an adjustment on the trigger pull. Found more. Maximum weight of 1.4 kilogram specified for minimum trigger pull. Wait. Maximum weight of 3 pounds. Minimum 2 pounds. I'm trying to remember how it feels to do both because I've done double action and I've done single action. Double action, I think. Chat, help me out. Double action trigger is typically speaking is it a 5-pound pull on a double action? Am I remembering that correctly? Is double action typically about a 5-pound pull? Yeah, well, yeah, Shadow Claw, with the position of the trigger, it seems like those adjustments may be much more minute in nature, 4 to 5-ish. Okay. So a 2 or 3 pound trigger pull is pretty close. Let me check something. Hang on a second. Let me check something. Okay. Uh, because 2 to 3 pound trigger pull is about single action, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe, but Doc, like I said, I was also thinking that the trigger pull adjustment was perhaps more severe. Yeah, 3.5. Yeah, so that's what I thought. So the 2 and a 3 pound trigger fall is not much of a difference. So if these things, if their trigger pull adjustment is only like a 1 pound difference between, maximum and a minimum, that's not as bad as I thought it might have been. That level of trigger pull is not as bad as I thought it might have been, and so that kind of changes my opinion a bit more of it, because that kind of adjustment will fundamentally be inconsequential. And Bobby, thank you for the follow. Welcome. Okay. I'm thinking. Oh, with the high point? Yeah, probably. Natural boy. Yes, it looks like he did. Um, exactly, Samet. 2 to 3 pounds is kind of splitting hairs. So, I will adjust my opinion on that. If that is the kind of adjustments that can be made, because the way he was putting it, it sounded like the adjustments were far more substantial in nature than they may actually have been. Um, so if the adjustments are so fine in nature, then I will adjust my opinion. Yeah, the way he put it, it sounded more extreme than I guess it actually is. So I will adjust my opinion. I will adjust my opinion on that if these adjustments are indeed more fine to like more of a fine tuning than I originally realized. I can admit when I may have been mistaken, and it sounds like I may be mistaken on this one. So okay, I hope he actually does shoot this. I don't know if he will. I hope he actually does shoot it so I can see it in action. If not, we are gonna watch the guy from Turkey doing his competition afterwards.
Even with Bullseye and Olympic Rapid Fire, you're going to want to take your time on that first shot. Not too much time, but enough. Let's do it one more time, just because it's fun. Fun. All right, this is you'll notice it's green. We haven't talked about that yet. It's green like my shirt. This is a limited edition. This is a new version of the SP they're coming out with called the SP High Tech that has a couple advantages. I'll probably do a comparison video between this and this. These are both 2024 models. I like the green. It's pretty cool. Magazines on the new versions are polymer, and I think that they do this maybe because they can make these in the United States. I can't totally be sure, but they are Pardini branded, and they've got really, really long ones for the U.S. markets because, America, right? The other ones that you would normally get with the SP, I really like, but they're metal, and they're expensive. Finally, let's talk about the magic in the Pardini. What is the magic in the Pardini? Why do people use it? What is it about this?
Yeah. Let's see. For the person that maybe can't really say much to that end, the average cheer submit, this doesn't make much of it. Shadow, sorry, Snowman, are you talking about the trigger pull? Intro Mega the Olympic pistol. Well, yeah.
This big old fat end.
Okay.
That makes it special. Now, calm down. I can't shoot you through your computer screen, and even if so, this thing is empty. But this is like a big honking front end. And that's because it's hiding a secret. And the secret that it's hiding
probably
is that
weighted.
If you take this little end cap off, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cylinders. And within those cylinders are weights that can come.
Called it. I figured they were going to be weighted. That's the only reason why you have such a huge front end, is because to try and weigh it down to reduce muzzle flip. It's kind of obvious, honestly.
Either steel or they can come in tungsten, and there's a spring there. And what they do is counteract and mitigate almost completely the recoil that you feel when you fire a Pardini. So as the gun moves back, the weights are sort of free floating with that spring. They do their magic. I don't know how it works, so I'm going to explain how it works.
I know, Mad Dog. I mean, I know. We're already talking about 22, so it's not like this thing is going to move in the first place, but I don't know. Every advantage, I guess.
The springs are on. But whatever it does, it counteracts
Yes, I
that,
know,
and that
right?
means
Yeah, I'm
that
sure
this
we'd prefer
baby
a bigger,
stays
a
on
huge
target.
back end, right?
And
Aha.
it's kind of amazing to shoot, and it's pretty fun to feel. So if you have the opportunity to go out and try one of these, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. I'm not going to guarantee you're going to get Pardini crazy, but this thing is awesome. And there is a reason why this model is used in Olympic rapid fire almost exclusively. So there you go. Go ahead and ask questions about it. As always, hold hard, shoot straight, 3 rules for life. Don't be a jerk, take care of yourself, help other people. Thanks.
That was very cool. I jumped the gun a bit when he was explaining it, but the way he was talking about it sounded rather extreme with the adjustments. So I may have slightly jumped the gun, and